Thank you for coming here today and being very brave to come and tell the story. I'd like you to first introduce yourselves to my audience so that they know who you are and we can get into your story.
My name is Toos from the family Nijenhuis, and I live in Holland. I'm 54 years old. I have 5 children, and I've a very bad story.
Okay, we'll start from the beginning.
Yeah. When I was 4 years old, I'm the oldest one from the whole family, and it's a church ritual from what is in the Bible. The first one should be offered to God, and that was what they did to me when I was 4 years old. Although I'm sitting here, it was in February, and my mother told me there was a meeting with my family in the farmhouse of my grandparents, and we went there, and she said it will be a kind of game, and we will first give you a bath, and then afterwards we will play a game. When we arrived there, it was not in the kitchen, but there is a bigger, nicer room, and all my aunts and uncle, not the uncles who, it was only the small family, the sisters from my mother.
Immediate family. Yeah.
And my grandfather and grandmother were there, and the
Vicar.
The vicar. He did also come in, and my mother had already undone my clothes, so I was naked, and she put a towel around me, and then they were singing church songs with the whole family, and the vicar, he gave me in my neck so that I was a little bit unconscious, dizzy. And then they put me on my stomach on the table, and the vicar, he put his fingers in my vagina, and it was bleeding. And then my grandfather did it, not with his fingers, but with his penis, and all they were singing it. And then my uncle did the same, and it took an hour before they were ready in the hole. It was a blanket, a white blanket, I was on laying, but it was totally red. And then, after it was done, they put me in the bath. There was a small bath with warm water, and then my mother bathed me again. My grandfather, he paid the figure for this holy sacrificing thing. And I was
Broken.
Then my mother put my clothes on me, and we went with the vicar in his car to our home, and my mother brought me to my bed, and the doctor came to give me some pain-releasing pills, morphine, and I was a few days in bed, and afterwards I had to go more than once a week to my grandfather's house to have myself abused by him, and then he raped me, and my uncle did the same to me, and sometimes it was in the bedroom, sometimes it was in where the cows were.
Who were your grandpa and uncle and all of them connected to that they were involved in this ritualistic rape and abuse? What is the connection? Is it like a Freemasons or cult or satanic organization?
For me, it's from the church, and yeah, it's
I'm sorry, which church?
Protestants have formed, Netherlands have formed church. And they sell it.
The Dutch Reformers.
Ja, de Nederlandse gereformeerde kerk.
No, not gereformeerd. Hervormd is another.
Hervormd.
Yeah, but it's nearly the same. It's not so different.
Okay. So the Dutch Reformed Church, which initially was Protestant.
Did you said the vicar who was present at the ceremony, how did you know he was the vicar? Were they calling him by that name, or did you recognize him, or?
I know it.
You know, yeah. Okay.
Okay. You used to go to your grandpa once a week. He used to rape and abuse you. Take it from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I was 5 years old, I had to bring my the younger sister, she's 1 year younger than I am, also to my grandparents, and I had to see what he did to her, also the same what he did to me, and I couldn't help it. I could do nothing. Trying to bring you, to put you in a position that you are unable to do things, and to make your
Feel guilty.
Yeah, feel guilty. And after a time when I was 5 years old, the house doctor did come, who always also gave me the pills when after the ritual, and he learned he taught my parents how to torture me with electricity. Then he bound me on the table and gave me electricity through my fingers or hands and feet, and afterwards, when that was done, I was always naked. He stimulated the clitoris to give me a clitoral orgasm. So torturing and orgasm should go together. And that was, he came 3 times to teach my parents that, and it was my mother who had to do it.
So your mother used to give you an orgasm?
Yeah.
Stimulate you?
Yeah.
Your mother was sexually abusing you too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she did it not only with her fingers but also with her tongue. that was also 4 years ago that I saw those pictures back from her, but I couldn't get a connection with all those other things that came in the last years. But, and after the 3 times that the doctor did that to me, he also sexually abused me with his, or he penetrated me with his penis. Then, but I wasn't always willing to my mother, and once I refused the whole thing, and she got angry, but she could not do the things with me that day. And then my father came home after working, and she told him what I did, that it didn't function that day. And then after we had dinner, and my sister was in bed. He bumped me on the table and he gave me so much electricity. It was nearly too much. My mother told him to stop it. And he stopped it when I was nearly dead. And he brought me up to my bedroom. My bed was totally... And there he raped me. It was so much.
Do you need a break? You okay? Do you need to stop for a little bit?
Yes.
Okay.
But all the things, they were totally... And I always thought my father was a good friend of mine. But I was scared of him. And 2 years ago, I was telling him, or I wrote a letter to him. I didn't know everything he did to me, but I knew some things, and I gave it him to read it, and he said no, I didn't do it. No. And then I told him, but you tried to kiss with the tongue my oldest daughter. And then he says, ouch, you outed it, out here. And then I knew. And then I saw also the thing where I was in my earlier younger days so afraid of, because he's satanic.
Right, let's take it back to your childhood. How long did this go on for? And let's talk a little bit more about the details of where these things happened.
What I told you already, my mother trained me, and it was a training for the Freemasons, it's an examination, a kind of examination, if they will come through or not, if they are really pedophile or...
So it's initiation,
yeah.
you mean? Okay.
And that was at about 5-6 kilometers from our home. There was a small castle in the wood, in the forest, and they brought me there when I was 6 years old. And there, but before that happened, my father sold me to the director from the factory where he was working and to the house doctor where they worked together. There was we had it when I was 6 years old. We had not a shower at home for washing ourselves. We had a kind of small
Basin.
yeah, and there we were washing. But in his factory there was a shower, and on Saturday he took me there. But I only knew the shower and nothing more. So there did happen more, but I didn't know it anymore. And then there was another room nearby. There was a small massage couch or an examination from the doctor. So, and there I got something to drink, so I didn't know anything exactly, or to be willing to do.
Drugged you.
Yeah.
What is do you remember the names of people? The names of the doctors?
The house doctor, he was Dr. Riedek, and the director, I don't know. The vicar was Israel, Dominic Israel.
The vicar or pastor or priest, Israel, Reverend Israel, be called. Let's talk about the castle in the forest.
The house doctor, he was the one who took me there, and it was there was a tower, and in the tower it was a round tower. There was a kind of bed, or I was bound on it naked, and the doctor, he was there were men in or persons in white clothes or white blankets they had covered, or that covered their naked body, and with caps like this, and only a hole here. But only the doctor, he was like a bog with horns. But for me it was a bog, but probably also a devil, I don't know, but I always say he was the bog. And he was not in white, he was in brown. He was not white. And they went in a circle around me, walking.
It's because the tower's round, so around the wall in a procession.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then he put an
Storchesbeek.
That thing you put into when you go to the gynecologist, the cold metal duck looking thing. Yeah.
How do you call it?
We call it a duck.
A duck. He put a duck in my vagina, and then he stimulated the clitoris. So there, I got an orgasm, and the one who couldn't have, or who didn't get an erection, fell down there was somewhere there was one hole in the circle, and then that hole went open and he fell out through it, and or during that falling, how it was exactly done, I don't know, but the man got out of his hole again.
Okay, so because he didn't get an erection, looking at you having this done to you, they cut off his penis and threw him down a hole. Okay, what happened to him?
Sorry, how exactly did that happen? How did they cut it off, and who cut it off?
I don't know exactly how it was done.
With a rope.
Yeah, they had a rope.
Something.
Yeah. There was a rope on there, but how exactly? There was a certain system that if they didn't get an erection,
And the fall?
By the fall, it was,
Called off.
yeah,
Pulled off, no?
yeah. It is, but to me, it sounds terrible. It was terrible, but to me, it wasn't not that terrible because I had such terrible things already before. Because my parents did, there was no one, only the doctor who was kind to me because I had to work with him together to cooperate. And it sounds, how can you? But if I didn't cooperate, and when the circle was going on, when the men were moving, the Bok and me, we had eye contact and we knew who was going. We really, after I've done that work for 4 years, during 4 years, till my 10th birthday or till I was 10.
So, are there a lot of these castles here in Holland where this goes on?
I'm not in it anymore, so I cannot say it. I don't know.
Do you remember where they are?
I think they are still in that system, or there are still those systems to test the upper class of the Freemasons.
I mean, the castle where you were abused. Do you know where it is?
Yes, I know it. I have exactly. I know it where it
Okay.
is, and I know that did happen much more.
Okay.
There are.
Did you ever go outside of Holland to different places? Were you taken anywhere?
Yes, I know all the places, or a lot of places where I was taken, and not only in Holland.
Where else?
But I will. This story is not finished.
Okay, keep going.
For me, that was the story with the house doctor, because he told me I was a kind girl and he loved me, so that was his way to make me cooperate or to work with him. And because I didn't have anyone who I could rely on and who was there for me, and he gave me the pills for not feeling so much pain. It was, and that night we slept together, and he put the arm around me.
Okay.
So we worked together, and when the man was falling down in a kind of cellar, afterwards he was dead. And then the whole group of men went down the stairs. Not me, but later the doctor, he showed me the whole system, how it functioned. It was as if you were, yeah,
Companions, lovers. How old were you?
it was from my sixth till my 10th year.
So you were
4
his
years.
child lover.
Yeah.
Okay. And you thought he was your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's very strange.
No.
But there's still a feeling for him, and it's.
Is he still alive?
No, he died in a very bad, strange. But that comes because it's. I have always the idea that it's because of the whole story what come afterwards.
Interesting. Okay. All right, carry on.
So they went downstairs, and they are the men. They had to do necrophilia with that dead body.
This is the one who got his.
Mm-hmm.
So the other men had to do that with him.
What did they do exactly?
To penetrate him.
Anally?
I'm sorry.
Like, from behind? Yeah. It's okay, relax.
Did you watch it happen, or did the doctor tell you?
Strange, but I've seen it.
When they, I just have one other question about that. When they were doing that, were they saying anything while they were doing it, or were they just doing it?
Saying, I don't know. I cannot say it. For me, it was silent. It was not with.
Was there ever in these rituals any kind of chanting or verse read, or was it just a pure act?
Pure act.
Okay. All right.
And then the one who didn't come through that act or could not penetrate had to come to me again, because then I was upstairs, or they put a cross knife in my the doctor did it, the bog or the devil, in my vagina.
So was it pointing down, out? Not inside, it was pointing out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, it was in.
Yeah, it was inside. The knife was.
The knife was also, but it was a
I'm
special
asking
thing.
the
It was not for
direction.
me painful. It was for the.
Okay. What I'm trying to ask is the direction. Did the handle go in first or the blade?
No, the blade was out.
Okay.
The
Okay.
doctor, the doctor did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was not to give me pain. It was to make the penis from me.
Okay. So we can clarify. So the man who didn't want to penetrate necrophilia had to then come to you.
Yeah.
You had a blade inside of you. And what happened?
He had to penetrate me again, and that gave that his penis was splitting up.
Did he know what he was doing? Did they tell? Okay. Oh goodness. That's terrible.
On a break. Stop. Okay.
You're doing very well. Okay?
Do you want water?
Can I get something to drink?
Do you want some juice?
I thought,
It's a tough story, eh? You're very brave telling it, I must be honest. It's one of the toughest I've had to listen to.
When they took them out, it was very detailed.
Yeah.
It was very difficult to.
It's all right. It's all right.
Secondly,
You're doing so well. You ready? So you're in this relationship with the doctor. Let's talk a bit more.
because those examinations from the Freemasons, that was not very often, but it was once a year, or I don't know. It didn't take place every week. But the doctor, well, my father, he showed me more often to the doctor, and he took me to different places in Holland. He brought me to nearby Almelo. There was also a torturing center. It was in a house, and there were different. It was a corridor, and then there were different rooms in it, and there I was also tortured with electricity. It was very often electricity what they put on me, and not only on my feet or my fingers, but also on my clitoris. That was very often, or in the vagina. Or sometimes they hit me with a wooden on the feet. And afterwards, and it were men in black. They were masked. They wore a mask. Not always, but also a black suit, not a cape or sometimes a cape. It was, and then there were 2 or 3 men normally. But it was always the doctor. He was with them. But I didn't know it. I didn't know that he was one of the torturers at that time. When the torturing and the raping was over, they brought me to another room, and there was the doctor who gave me some morphine or other things to relieve the pain. And that did happen in different places. Also in the south of Holland, in Limburg, there was in IJs a small castle where they brought me, and there were more men together, and they put me naked on a table to play with me, and afterwards they brought me to a torturing room where I was also tortured, and there were also.
Were the other children involved?
No, I would like this.
Oh, sorry.
It was not only torturing, and it were not only men who raped me, but also in IJs it was also a dog who raped me.
Sorry?
A dog. And on the castle where the Freemasons examination was, there were also, it was in the forest, they had some hunting. They hunted, I'd like to say us. There were more, me and also my sister, and there were more. But it was at night, it was dark.
What did they do exactly on the hunting?
What I remember, I was naked and it was cold, and there was on my feet, I put my feet in a clam so I couldn't go on any longer.
I'm sorry, on what?
Like a bear trap, clamp.
Like you had a trap around you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was hunting with dogs, not with a gun but it was, and they were on horses. It was with Prince Bernhard.
I'm sorry.
Prince Bernhard, the former king of...
Cardinal Alfred.
Cardinal.
Alfred.
How do you spell that?
A-L.
A-L?
F.
F.
L-E-N-K.
R-I-N-K.
He was a Catholic cardinal?
Yes. Yeah.
And the Prince Bernhard.
Yeah, Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands, the man who set up Bilderberg. And the World Wildlife Federation.
How old were you when this happened? The hunting?
At about 9,
9.
10 years old, 7. During that whole period it happened. And it was not only in that forest. But they put the dogs to hunt us. And then when you could not go on, and there was that clam around my feet, the dogs, they raped us, and they were laughing and putting jokes on.
How many men did this?
What I know or what I see is 2 men, but probably there were more, I don't know.
Were there other children involved? Were you the only child, or was the others with you?
I know that I heard crying or screaming, and it was my sister, and she didn't take part afterwards on those hunting parties. But with me, they took me to England, Wales, Scotland.
Who took you?
The doctor.
to answer hunting parties in Wales and
In Carnarvon Castle and in nearby Fort Williams in Scotland.
did you see the Cardinal or the Prince in Scotland and Wales too, or were there other people?
In Scotland there was Menachem Mendel Sneerson, the upper rabbi of the Jewish people.
Could you spell that?
Menachem
Menachem, yeah.
Mendel
Mendel Sneerson.
Sneerson.
Just write down for us, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, we can look, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin, for taking the notes. Okay. Carry on.
And in Carnarvon, they hunted in the castle, in the corridors or in the gangen, hoe noem je dat?
Corridors.
Ja.
Hallways.
Really?
Oh.
In the castle? That's interesting.
And nearby Fort Williams, that was terrible. That was horrible. It was not only hunting, there was a special water basin in a huge building.
Oh, sorry, what was it again?
A water basin.
Oh, water basin. Okay.
Basin. Yeah. And there was a kind of apparaat boven.
An appliance.
Yeah. And they bound me there, naked. My arms like this and my feet like this, and there was an iron
Bar.
an iron bar. And first they put me right up, and then let me slowly down in the water and put electricity on the water. So, and then they put electricity on and on. And afterwards, they took me up and then turned me up. They put me with my head on the water. They like to see you struggle. But that was not everything. Then they put my whole body. They took me and put me in the water basin till here. And then they turned on the electricity. Till I couldn't breathe anymore. I was dead. They took me out and I lay on the ground as if I was dead. That was with my doctor, with Sneerson and Lord Mountbatten.
Lord Mountbatten.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you, at the time you couldn't know who they were, but you recognized them later? Is that how you know them?
When I see a picture, I feel it.
Yeah.
You can lay a lot of pictures and I say, no, that is not him. Or with him, I have nothing to do.
Yeah.
And another, I know it is one of them. And it is my body.
Oh, I know.
The Queen's husband, the Queen of England's husband, is a Mountbatten.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Prince Philip. Okay. All right, carry on.
But there was more there. There was, like in the Avatar, you have in the film, you have the people go in a kind of glass coffin, and then they go to another time, or another, they turn in another. You know the film Avatar?
Yes.
Yeah. And then you see if they go in a glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The glass chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Then you go to another place and another time, or you turn in another.
This happened to you?
Not exactly, but they put some. They put me in such a thing, or it's like that, but you get something on your head to, and it's not, it doesn't hurt, but it gives a feeling. I know that at that time I thought I would not let me do change my brain or but you cannot stop it. And it's also, my son tells the same stories that they do with a kind of electrode or kind of thing to make your change your rememberings or change your, I don't know exactly what it is, but it is an instrument to change your personality.
Why was that happening, do you think, to you? Why did they do that to you?
One thing is that I shouldn't remember anything to make it.
How old were you when that happened?
10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
How long was this abuse going on for?
It stopped when I was 12 years old, but I can tell the whole story, so then
Yeah, sure, carry on.
You hear also the end.
Can I make this short?
When you're ready, you can carry on.
Yes, I already told about the water basin where they put me in, and afterwards I was nearly dead. But I was several times there, or it was at the same time, I don't know, but they bound me also on a table and put needles under my fingernails. It was, and not only on my nails, but also, or not only my fingers, it was also on my toes.
What was the point of doing that? Was it to keep you?
It was, they like to see your, that you cannot go away and to move, but you cannot scream because they put always something in your mouth or tape to open your mouth.
Were they studying you? Were there people taking notes, or were they just doing this?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know that, but that will come in Melbourne. They filmed everything. They filmed the torturing, and there is a secret room where they hide their films. But here I don't know. I only know what they did to me.
Right.
And I was at about 10 years old. Well, although in Scotland there was also hunting, and there was hunting with more children, they
What happened to the children? Were they ever caught and killed?
they were killed, and also on the Springenberg, where I first had where I was talking about hunting, the children who are killed sometimes what they do the same with when they hunt on rabbits or animals, they eat them. They do the thing.
Did you ever see them kill the children and eat them? You actually see it?
I have to.
Tell us a bit
Or
more.
they give it to the dogs, or both.
Why were you never caught and killed?
I don't know. I had no protector, I think. My lover.
What is
I
your
don't
blood?
know. It's he was. When I was 10 years old, I suddenly became aware and was in near, not so far away from where I lived. He and the bishop from Munster tortured me during an evening. They were all in black. They were both in black and had only, or they wore a mask, but I saw only their eyes. And after torturing, there was my doctor again, but I saw that he had worn also a mask. There was the pressure from the mask on his face. So I got such a great shock that he was one of the torturing men. I could not love him, and I could not have. I had sex with him, but not the way it was before. Before I had the idea he was my lover. He wasn't.
Just, do you mind if I ask you about the children who were killed during the hunting? How were they killed? Most of the times I was apart. They hunted me, but only with the dogs, Okay.
not with.
Did they use guns when they were hunting the other children, or any weapon?
I cannot give an answer. I only know that there were children who we had to eat, or who were.
They were dead children. You saw they were dead. And
It was only part of the child what you saw. I didn't see them, the whole part. I knew that it was from a child.
Okay.
So you were forced to eat child meat. How old were you?
It was all at the same time at
Yeah.
9, 11, 10, 11. You can't imagine.
This was in Fort William, in Scotland?
There was also hunting,
In Fort William.
or nearby Fort William. There was torturing, there was the electricity, there was the hunting. I was talking about that mask. That the doctor was not any longer my lover. And that made, for me, the whole thing more worse. Because he tried to get my love again. He was not used to have love, not have to have the warmth of one who loved him. It's a very isolated life they live, and very cold life they live. was 6 years old, I would always go to Jesus. It has been a very long time that I have that intention. Go to Jesus and be as Jesus, helping people. Also love your enemy. I remember a scene where it was with Nijenhuis who had also tortured me, and then he had sex with me, and I put an arm around him. It was, I felt his lonely life and his, sometimes it were very strange situations, and I don't know, probably is that also why I've survived. I don't know. I don't know. But with the doctor, I don't know and for me again I loved him, because at the end there was a loving feeling to each other again, and not only from him to me. But the Cardinal Alvink, the Bishop from Utrecht, he became aware that Dr. Riedijk loved me, and that was a thing he could not, he was jealous that someone has a woman feeling, and they could not handle it. So I was tortured very badly afterwards, after he became aware that there was a relation between the doctor and me. They brought me to the south of Germany. There are two castles from the kings, kings of Bayern, and Hohenschwangau is one of it.
Sorry, did you say that?
Hohenschwangau
Horschwangau.
is a great castle in the south of Germany. And there were different bishops from that part of the country. There was also the Pope, Pope Johannes II.
John Paul II.
Yeah.
The Polish Pope.
Yeah. And Sneerson, Menachem Mendel Sneerson, and my daughter.
I'm sorry, is that near Munich? This castle near Munich?
This one.
Near
Near München.
Mhm.
Füssen. Füssen is
Füssen.
it is 2 kilometers from Füssen away. It's totally to the Austrian border.
Ratzinger was in Munich. So,
I knowing every name, I only knew of him. And also the bishop from Munster was there.
So it's all bishops. You've got all bishops, and the Pope.
Bishops and the Pope and the upper rabbin, the rabbin, the upper rabbin. There was
Jewish rabbinical upper rabbis. Okay,
that was Sneerson.
that's interesting. All together.
Yeah, all together.
Okay.
So
what were they doing?
they were. I always was naked, and they put jokes on me. They tortured me again. Sneerson, he urinated on me. I had to drink his urine. Once he put me on a table naked, on my hands and my knees, and then there was something, I don't know exactly what it was. He put it on my mouth like this, so he could took me backwards, and then he put his hands in So I could not. It was here.
This was the, who was that again? Source? Who did that again?
Sneerson.
Sneerson.
What about the Pope? Was there anything he did? Do you
They
recall?
all raped me. It was not one of them who didn't do anything. They did it all.
Did they all torture you as well?
No.
So did they take turns together in a group, or was it one by one?
No, it was a group.
Okay.
And then he put jokes on me and
Sorry, put what on you?
Jokes.
jokes.
Teased her.
They did.
Taunt her.
Okay.
You are nothing for them.
Yeah.
Only a toy. And they like to see you suffer. The more the better. On another place in Germany, also in the south, it was not always with electricity. They put me in a place where Mieren,
Ants.
ants.
Yeah.
I was on a chair and it was with snakes and with ants and all terrible things to make you. Another time, they took me to Saudi Arabia. Daar in nearby, there was and I first thought it is not so bad. There were more children, but I had to go to a separate room. And there also Sneerson was there, Cardinal Frank, and Dr. Ridek. He was always there. He was always with me. I was naked, and there was a table, and those three men, Sneerson was in the middle. There was Cardinal Alfring, but he had also another name. I know that it was with an A, his first name, and Felipe Bisleveld was his family name. And there was Dr. Ridek. Then Sneerson, Ridek, he told me he had told me that I had to do all the things they asked me, so I should not suffer so very much. It was very bad. I had to make a
Bow down.
I had to bow down, and Sneerson, he went behind me, put his finger in my vagina, and he turned me on the ground, and then he urinated on me and cacked on me, and it was always, you're nothing, you're nothing. And it wasn't 5 times a day or 5 days a day. They had, during the day they had meetings, those men. They had other things to do, and in the evening I was their toy to play with. Then normally I was alone. There were no other children.
I'm sorry. Did they have you in like a cell? Where were you kept?
No, it was not a cell. It was a room like this, and there was a bed, and it was not. When they were not there, it was not so bad.
When you're in Saudi Arabia, the other children, were they Arab children or what kind of ethnic children were they?
I've only seen children, and then I went through that room, but I don't know what. No, but they were not from Africa. They were not black.
They were white children?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask what blood type are you?
What blood type?
Yes, do you know? AB negative?
I'm the most.
Yes, just out of interest.
Wat is het meest normaal?
Meest normaal is ook positief.
Ja, dat ben ik. Nederland. Natuurlijk, even een
Nee, AP negatief en AP positief,
nee.
dat zijn echt de hele vreemde.
Nee.
Maar ook positief is de halve wereld.
It's significant. It could be significant as to why you've survived. So I'd like to know if you could find that out for me, please.
I think, or for me, it was because of the doctor.
Okay.
And also Sneerson, although it is very, you cannot imagine that but at the end, when I was in Melbourne, he sent me there, Sneerson, but he also was the one who told the others that I should have to survive, so they were not allowed to kill me.
What was special about you that they were not allowed to kill you? Do you know?
It's very, very old. It's not from this life.
Okay.
That is what when you ask me now, that's my answer.
Makes sense. Okay. Carry on with that.
And it will come.
Okay. All right. Carry on when you're ready.
I was in Saudi Arabia, and it was every night torturing. They gave electricity to my clitoris, to my vagina, to my hands and feet, and I was bound, and they penetrated anal, vaginal.
How long were you in Saudi Arabia?
I was there 2 times, but once I was there for 5 days, and the last torturing, it was very, very terrible, because it was with electricity. I was they hanged me on my ankles and my wrist. So, and they tore me out. So and they put electricity on me. So it was a cramp from my muscles to come like this, and it was and then when I was unconscious, they let me fall on the ground, and then I didn't breathe anymore.
How did you survive?
I don't know. every time I went to breathe again. But there is, the last story is, there was the yeah, I would like to have it. It would be my going to Christ. It wasn't. Saudi Arabia was very bad. It was, in the night I was with Ridijk and during the evening they, or when we slept, sometimes Nielsen took me and then there was a torture in the night.
Yeah, maybe it's good to tell that Ridijk had to watch what happens.
Yeah, the last time, before that, that's very bad with the tearing me out and giving me the electricity. The time before, he had to hit me with a vibe and to give me also with a stick electricity. Although I was bounded and I could not, and the others they raped me. It was. And that last time when I was on my wrists and ankles, and with that electricity, Ridijk, it was to pay him back what he have with me, hoe zeg je, afrekenen.
Payback.
Yeah.
So I saw his tears in his eyes when they did it to me. He could not stand it also, that they did, he also did bad things to me, but that was too much. Then another time they brought me to Saudi Arabia, and then I was brought to the desert. There was a pipe or a hole in the ground. And Ridijk. It was with Nielsen, and again with Alfred and with Ridijk. Those three men again in front of me. And Ridijk, he had to let me in that pipe till here, and then sand in the pipe. So I could not move, I could not.
Is your head above the ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was also to pay him back that he had to do that. If he didn't do it, they would kill me. If he did it, it probably killed me. There was no way out. And Alfred, he pissed on me, and I opened my mouth, so I had a little bit more to survive. That was 3 hours. And then came. He was sent from Ridijk to bring him back. And they took me out of the desert.
Take a break.
castle, the name of the castle in South Germany, started with an H.
I don't really know. Sorry.
Schwangau.
The name of the castle in
Schwangau.
Schwan.
Nee, dat is Schwangau. En wij.
Yeah.
Hohenschwangau is it?
Hohenschwan, okay. And that's where you saw the Pope and all those
Yeah.
others?
Yeah.
That's the name of the castle. Okay.
Just maybe interesting to tell the story how we discovered that it was there. because-
Yes, we were on holiday last year in South Germany, and there are very famous castles from all over the world. They come to see those castles. Millions of people, and if you know what happened there, it's a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. But when we came there, although 4 years ago I was there and it didn't trigger me, but now, and there are two castles near to each other, and the one I say no, I've never been there, but in Hohenschwangau I was. And when we were there, it was from one side we did come to the entrance, and I told the Kasper, there's another entrance. You can go so, and there is the cellar, and you
From
can.
the back you can.
Yeah. And
There's
when we
roads.
took the other way, it was the way I told him already how it was. But and I didn't have a very good holiday, or no, because I didn't sleep at night, and I had a lot of stomach pain. And 1 week afterwards, I had a place on my back, as if one put a burning cigar on my back. It was burning.
Burning spot.
Yeah, it was red, and it felt as if one did it to me, and afterwards a big crust.
Scarf.
A big scar.
It healed out.
Yeah.
Yes. Right, let's go back a bit to where you were as a child at this castle, Saudi Arabia. How old are we? Where are we in your timeline? What age are you now?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm-
No, I mean
No,
in the story.
In the story, I'm 11 years
Still
old.
11. Okay.
Yeah.
In Saudi
Alright.
Arabia?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how many more years did this abuse go on for after 11?
At 12, it stopped.
Stopped. Why?
Because I once go to that doctor's house. He is in our town, our village, and I sometimes used to go there to be tortured and have love with him.
You went by yourself out of your own
Or
free
I
will?
was asked, I don't know exactly. But there is and it's also on the paper, there is a secret room in that house, especially built for such things. And I was there, and I told him, if you love me, then don't torture me anymore. And if you don't love me, then kill me. I cannot go further this way. It's too much. And he didn't torture me. And he didn't kill